Okay guys, we're at Dollywood. We're opening day. And we've got Amber here with us, and she's going to answer some questions for us. We put it out there for y'all to let us know some questions you wanted answered.
Welcome, Amber Davis. Thanks for taking time out of your day to spend with us.
Excited to be here.
Yes, we're looking to get the word out. Some of the questions that we got are safety and health precautions. What are some of the things that Dollywood is doing today?
Well, folks who visited us last year are going to see a lot of the same stuff this year. We are going to continue to follow the CDC, and so we are asking that you do a screening before you come into the park. So we'll get your temp checked, and we'll ask you some questions. Make sure you are green to come in, good to go, and then you're going to be wearing your masks. And we are limiting capacity, so if you are a season pass holder, we're encouraging you to make a reservation so that you can guarantee your spot, because once we hit that capacity number, we won't allow anyone else in. So if you are a pass holder, we encourage you to make a reservation. That guarantees you get in. And if you are buying a daily ticket, then that ticket is your reservation. So I know there's lots of confusion about
yes,
that.
Yes, that's one of the questions we get a lot.
If you are not a pass holder, you do not make a reservation. If you buy a ticket, that is your reservation. That's it.
Gotcha.
If you're buying a multi-day ticket, when you buy that ticket, that is your reservation for the multi-days. So you're covered. So no reservation needed if you are not a pass holder. If you are a pass holder, it is not required. However, if you want to be sure you get in, if you're going to drive out here, you might as well make sure you're going to get in. Go ahead and make a reservation. As long as you're doing it, not at the last minute, I think you're going to have pretty good chances of being able to do that, to make a reservation. So that's something you can expect. We are still trying to make sure we remind people to distance as much as possible. So you're going to see signage and queuing that helps us remain apart. So you're going to see that. And, we've limited indoor theaters, but we do have indoor shows, because I know people are asking about that. So we're excited to have indoor shows. Capacity is limited. You're going to have seats between, so there's all that. You're going to have to wear your mask inside while you watch the show. We've done a lot to make sure that our guests feel as safe as we can.
Now, as far as shows, do you make a reservation for those also?
You do not need to make a reservation.
You just come get in line? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. If you want a reserved seat, you can buy a time saver and do it that way. But shows,
gotcha.
there's no reservations needed for shows.
And once they're filled up, that's it. They got the line on. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, first come, first serve. What we've done to kind of balance out that we aren't letting as many people in, we're doing more shows.
Mobility services. I notice when we come in, you've got scooters, you've got wheelchairs, and you've got carriages for the kids.
We do. We have strollers. So rentals, you can rent single or double strollers. And if you want an ECV, electronic convenience vehicle, you can rent one. You can also bring your own, but you can rent one of ours. We do have wheelchairs, but I say if you're going to go all over the park, you're going to want an electric one, because those hills.
I wouldn't want to be pushing.
Those hills. We are in the hills of Tennessee. Let me remind you of that. So you're welcome to rent a regular, but we have the electronic as well. So yes, we've got different things available with our rental services and lockers.
Kids, what you guys got for kids? Rides and games. We got a lot of people asking about families.
Sure, this is my sweet spot because I'm a mother of young children. I've got a kindergartner and a preschooler, so we're at Dollywood a lot. And we have the Imagination Pre-K Pass, but that is closed now. So we've taken all those. But that is a great thing to keep in mind if you do have small children, because it allows you to get another year free, because we do not require a ticket for children who are younger than 4. Once they turn 4, you need a ticket. And the Imagination Pass helps you with another year. So again, keep that in mind. We've closed it for now, but if you've got a child who's coming up on the age of 4, keep that in mind for next year.
Gotcha.
But we're such a family-friendly park. Honestly, this is coming from a mom. We probably cannot do everything in one day. When I come with my family, we choose. We either are doing the Wildwood Grove area, or we're doing Country Fair, Rocking Roadway, Train. We kind of, because with small children, you don't want to be overwhelmed, rushing, people get cranky. Little people, maybe moms too.
There you go.
So I would say you need a couple of days. That's why, honestly, a season pass is the best value, because with kids you can come and just ride the train if that's all you want to do that day. Eat, go home, relax. So there's a lot to do for children. Really, the only things, keep in mind that our clothes are the high touch areas that we can't constantly be sanitizing. That's just not something we can do at this moment. So we're keeping our eye on it. And as soon as we are able to, we will reopen. But some of the play areas are not open. But honestly, even with those closed, my family, I'll kind of go through it. Rockin' Roadway, those are the cars that you get to drive. Country Fair, everything is open. Country Fair. And then you've got the train, the carousel, then going up the hill. Again, my older little boy can ride a whole lot. He's a little bit taller than 42 inches. At 42 inches, he can ride Blazing Fury, Beautiful Falls. So there's lots of things going up through the valley that he can do. Then, of course, there's Fire Taster Express. The plaza is usually where we go to run around when we just need to get our energy out. So do that. Of course, all of Wildwood Grove. So there's quite a bit to do for small children. So yes, check that box. And don't forget the water park too.
That's one of our big questions. How many days do we need to spend if we want to
I would say
do?
at least a couple.
At least-
just to not be like, oh, we've got to you
Rush
want to get
through.
your money's worth, so you want to do it all, but it's really hard to do it all in one day, especially when you're trying to feed them too. You know,
Right.
they need things.
And that question usually also gets asked for shows. If we want to see all the shows, how many days should we plan?
I would say a couple, because if you want to ensure that you're going to get to see everything, because sometimes, you know, the show times might be at the same time, and you
Yeah.
might have to choose, or maybe you miss one, or, you know, so if that's your aim, is to see all the spectacular shows that we have, I'd say plan a couple days just to be sure. If you're like, you know, I really want to see this one and this one, that's obviously doable in a day. But if you want to try to hit it all, and see the museum is open again this year. We're so excited to have
good.
that. Heart Song, the movie, is back. So that's another show that a lot of people enjoy. It's a 20-minute film. Dolly talks about her mountain home, and it's great. So that's also a good time just to sit and relax and enjoy. And that's playing again this season. So I would say a couple days if you want to do all of that.
Let's talk a little bit about the events and seasonal festivals that going on. I see the Flowers and Food.
Yes, Flower and Food Festival. We debuted this last year, and it is spectacular. I love it so much. We're going to have it again this year, and there's actually a few new elements to it. So a lot of people
Food or
weren't
flowers?
flower and food. They're both very important to this festival. They're very important. So it is flower and food. We have 500,000 flowers, because if you've been to Dollywood, you know we already have a lot of flowers.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a thing that we have here. But we bring in an additional 500,000 flowers.
Oh, wow.
And it's really concentrated in this front area of the park. So Show Street, we're going to have more and Adventures in Imagination, Rivertown Junction. So it's a very concentrated area for those 500,000 flowers. And you've got the mosaic cultures, which are really neat. They're, you know, I guess an easy way to kind of describe it is like a topiary, but so much better. You know, we've got a turned upside down umbrella, and then you've got Dolly's mother actually quilting the coat of many colors, and so and that's like 14 feet high. So let me tell you, these are just spectacular. One of my favorite features is the umbrella sky. The infrastructure is already up there, but the umbrellas won't come until the festival starts.
Okay.
So that's neat. But you've got this year new. We're going to have chalk art. So every day of that festival, assuming it's not raining, we're going to have a chalk artist here every day, the whole day the park's open. So she's going to be, you know, creating new things every day. And then our guests will have the opportunity, if they want to create their own chalk art.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to that this year. And also we have a new concert series specifically for this festival. So I'm very excited about that, because they're bringing in, we've got some Southern gospel, we've got some contemporary Christian, just got some uplifting type music. So I'm particularly excited. We've got Matthew West coming in, and Rebecca St. James, Big Daddy Weave. So some good names. And then we've got the Triumphant Quartet, and just a whole bunch of Southern gospel artists that people who come to Dollywood just absolutely adore. So we're excited to have all that too.
Let's talk about the busiest and least busiest days. You got people that want to know, you know, when there's not going to be so many people. And what have you found is the busiest day and the least busiest day?
Well, sure. I think the easiest way to say it, and I don't know if this is really helpful to people who are going to be grumbling at me, but the easiest way to say it is, when can you travel? Oh, probably the weekends, probably spring break, fall break. So, I mean, when you can travel is when everyone can travel. So those are going to be the busiest days. I mean, again, that's not that you want to hear that, but that's going to be the truth. So those break periods when school breaks are, and when people naturally have time off, that's when I mean, a lot of people take time off around holidays. You're slammed that week after Christmas because everyone's off. You know, obviously weekends are busier. I'd say Saturday's busier than Sunday, so if you have to choose between one of those. And midweek is always the best bet if you can pull that off. I understand that's hard to do, but you know, if crowds, lower crowds are important to you, then maybe it's worth taking some time off in the middle of the week, because that's when you're gonna, you know, find those lower days. But we do encourage you to always check your operational calendar, depending on what time of year it is. We might be closed some during the week, a day or two, so make sure you plan that before you decide when you're coming. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be the busier times for when you can go. It's when everyone can go. That's how that works.
Okay. Talk about the time saver. Saying something about, you got two different types of time savers. You got one that you can use anytime, unlimited, and then you have...
Yes, our standard. So we do, and then we've actually had some changes this year, so it's a good time to talk about time saver, because it's really, again, if you are, okay, I've got to maximize my time, I've got to get everything done, time saver is going to really help you out, because you're going to get to expedite those rides. That's what it is. If you are unfamiliar, time saver is Dollywood's version of a time management fast pass type deal. So if you want to purchase a time saver, you have two options. You have the time saver and you have the time saver unlimited. Unlimited, as the name implies, you buy that time saver and you can go to as many attractions as you want, and that's how your day can go. You get to, you don't go to the front of the line, but you get to an expedited queue. So it's pretty great. If you buy the standard time saver, which is what you get if you stay with us at Dollywood's Dream World Resort and Spa, that's included. So again, that's a big reason why you want to stay with us, because that is included for everyone who stays with us. Those you get 8 options. And so if you want to use, this is new this year, if you want to use all 8 of those on Fire Chaser Express, it's a very popular family ride, you can do that, all 8. So before you were limited, you could only use it maybe once here or whatever, but now you can do it in, you know, as many time saver attractions as there are, you can use that as a combo, but you have 8 with the standard. So with a lot of families, that works great. So
now, do you have certain rides that you can use that on? Is there some rides that are restricted with
there
the time
are
saver?
some. Check the website. The website spells out which attractions are time saver available. Okay. So it's all the big rides and a few other. We try to put in some family rides too, but it's all the big coasters and a few other rides that are family, like Raging River Rampage. That's one of them. And some rides in Country Fair to expedite that time. And then this year too, I'll go ahead and mention this. If you purchase it online, you can actually, you'll get an email, and you no longer need to go to time saver once you arrive at Dollywood. You can take your phone and they will scan it straight off your phone. So when you get here, you go straight to the ride. So that's new this year. We're very excited about that. So that's the digital option. You still have the option to buy it at the park. And honestly, if you do buy it at home, but say you're buying, you know, for your 3 kids, but you may not be with your 3, you know, assuming this is an older family, you know, older children, you may not be with them all day long, and you don't want to have your phone and all that. You can still go to Time Saver and get a lanyard to be scanned if you would like. So there's a couple different options there, but having it on your phone, I think, is fantastic for people who truly want to save time and not have to go to the Time Saver building. If you want to use your Time Saver for show reservations to save your seats, then you'll go to Time Saver and tell them what shows you would like to see, and they can take care of that.
Let's talk a little bit about parking, the Golden Pass, and the tram that you guys do. Can you hit a little bit on the parking?
Sure. Parking. If you would like to not pay to park, you need a Gold Pass. I mean, and typically what people say is 1 per family. If you, you know, if mom is usually the one to come, then mom should get it. If mom and dad both equally come and may not be able to go together, then maybe each one should. So it just depends on your family and who's going to be here the most. But if you have a Gold Pass, because it does need to be the Gold Pass holder who gets the discount. So that's the thing. The person who is at the park the most needs to have that Gold Pass. But if you have your Gold Pass, you don't pay to park, and you get discounts on food and merchandise. So really, if you come to Dollywood, this is the way to go.
you guys got valet parking? I know you had valet parking at one time. Do you still have it?
We do. With COVID, we didn't want our hosts in people's cars, so we'll wait and see how the pandemic goes, but we'll hopefully have that back soon.
And then you got bus and RV parking too?
We do. Yep, we have a place to park the big trailers, the big buses, and regular parking.
Well, one of the ones that I like knowing is Dolly. How often is she here? Does she give advance notice? Or does she just pop in? Or
Yes. Dolly does. She's quite involved here throughout the year. It depends on what's on her schedule. So we don't know necessarily when she's coming. I think it's kind of predictable, but then sometimes she does decide she wants to come see, like, her family has a show. She might come and see her nieces performing at a show. So we don't always know. So that's part of the fun of going to Dollywood. You just never know.
can you hit on like the Fast Country and all those, or like other activities like Dollywood and things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything else they do, like Stampede or?
Yes, and people do get a little confused. So let me explain it this way. The Dollywood company includes Dollywood Splash Country, Dollywood Dreamworld Resort and Spa, and then Dollywood Cabin, so Dollywood Smoky Mountain Cabin. So those four things are the Dollywood company. When you start talking about the dinner theaters and that thing, those are in the family, but that's not part of the Dollywood company. So we do work with them. We have ticket deals and that kind of thing. We say it's wonderful, so be sure to go check this out. But when I talk about the Dollywood company, I'm talking about our theme park, the water park, and our lodging companies. But so Dollywood's in its 36th season, and our water park is going to have its 21st season starting May 15th. So we're very excited about that, and it really is a fantastic water park. I mean, it's one of the prettiest water parks. It's been named a must-see water park, as a matter of fact. What I like about it so much, it's really nestled into a mountain hollow, and so there's lots of natural shade. You do not always find that at a water park. It's oftentimes just concrete jungle and towers that you're climbing in the beating down sun. So there's lots of natural shade just because we're in a mountain hollow, and we've been around for 21 seasons now. So there's lots of pretty trees and overgrowth. So that's one thing that I love to plug, is that if you just want to enjoy the day and not always be running from the sun, the water park really is a place to check out. And we really are a world-class water park. We've got a water coaster. We've got the slides that are very daring and thrill-seeking, and then we've got the family attractions. My boys actually, I was curious about my family being young. We spent 8 hours at the water park, and that wasn't even that was 2 years ago. So when my boys were little, because they love the water, and it's things that we can do together. We get in there together and play. So there's more than 32 slides and 16 different attractions. So it will be a thing that will take a day. So if you're wanting to come do Dollywood, talking about Dollywood theme park and water park, you're going to need, I would say, a couple days for the theme park, 1 day for the water park, just full day.
Well, one thing Kelly and I like to lazy river.
We spend the whole. We know how long it takes to get around.
Get around.
There you go.
We got it
Yeah,
down.
There you go.
We'll try to time it to be the last one done.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
I bring my book.
Yep.
It's
She does.
So great. And really, the retreats, if you have small children,
Yeah, we need
it's one of
to.
those things. If I'm just going with my family of 4, I don't necessarily get one. But when I go with, the cousins and the grandma and grandpa, then we get a retreat because, grandma and grandpa can sit in the shade.
We need to
There's
do
a
that.
TV. Again, I don't want to come to the water park, but there is a TV. When my boys were younger, we actually did bring a pack and play, and they would nap, and it was fantastic. There's the fan. You can close the curtains. I mean, it was fantastic. That is the way. And you get room service, essentially.
So you can call.
You
and you
pick
can
up
order
the
your food
phone,
and
they bring you your food. I mean,
Yep.
it's the way. It is the way to do a water park.
We need to do that sometime.
Yes, do it for sure.
We'll cap it off with where can people go inside the park to get information, and then like on the internet, whenever you guys do update stuff like COVID, when the CDC guidelines, just any other important things that Dollywood highlights that
Yeah.
everyone needs to know.
There's,
Where can they go do that?
I mean, we try to keep our website as up to date, and as we try to do banners at the top of the page and tell people when they get there. But you can search for things. I'd say our blog keeps people very informed. So that's on our website, Dollywood blog. You can Google Dollywood blog if you want. There's also the inside blog. There's a couple different options where we are constantly cranking out information, trying to keep people updated. But we do our best to put that on the website. If you sign up for our emails, we're sending out emails about what's going on weekly. I mean, I guess you can kind of cater, how often you want to get that stuff. But we're sending information, all the time, trying to keep people updated. So there's lots of different places to find the information you're looking for.
How about inside the park? Where can they go for information? You got the maps, you got stations for those?
Yeah, we do. We have those back because that was something we pulled, when we first were getting into the pandemic, trying to figure out what we can and can't do. We've been given the green light to do that, so we've got maps back out. The app is a good resource, so you could actually be standing here and say, well, where are those eagles? I hear that you've got some bald eagles that, this. Yeah, well, I want to go check that out. So you can actually, put that into your app, and it'll show you walking directions to get there. So that's really neat. So that's a good resource. Honestly, our hosts are very knowledgeable. So look for a host, and they'll be able to answer your questions.
One last one that we talked about before we got together with this. What do they call that? Fresh area or fresh?
The mask-free break zone.
There you go. Mask-free break zone.
Yes, when you need to take a break, we do. We need to make sure that you're taking good care of yourself, you're hydrating, and when you need to take a breather without the mask, we do have mask-free break zones throughout the park, so that's very important to us. And we are going to enforce the mask to do everything we can to protect our hosts and our guests. But also remember, you can take it off for pictures, put it back on please, and then you can take it off when you're sitting down to eat and do things like that. So there are moments throughout the day that you need a break, and when you aren't doing those things, just hang out for a little bit in the master break zone. That's nice to just sit down, breathe, and catch your breath. Because this is hard, and all of us we're learning. We're learning a lot.
Glasses, stars,
Sunglasses, maybe. Yeah, both. Yeah. So we're all learning together, but we're in it together, and that's the thing. We're going to do what we need to follow CDC and be as safe as we can. We ask you to be a good partner with us. And yeah, we've got master break zones for that reason, because I know I'm a mom. I know how hard that is, and we're gonna use those areas when we need to.
Thank you, man. We appreciate your time. We really love it here at Dollywood. We love spreading the word about it.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Come see us. Come join.